Welcome Year 10 to our second classroom video tutorial. I thought I'd introduce you to Howard. As I told you, you will always have me in every video. Sometimes you'll have Howard. You'll always have a whiteboard and you'll always have a PowerPoint. So let's get on to today's lesson. Let's have a quick look. Today's lesson is how to use a formula to find the area of different shapes. So, from last lesson, what did we learn? 1. A formula is something we use to solve a problem. 2. Because every problem is different, we must use a different formula. 3. A formula has two things: a subject, you can see that written or circled in the picture next to it in red, and values. In the picture next to us we can see those circled in green. We also learn how to use a formula successfully. Just follow 4 steps. 1. Write the formula. 2. Write our values. 3. Substitute our values into the formula. 4. Calculate your answer. And I've given you a good example on the right hand side of the screen that shows you how we do each of these 4 steps. So today's lesson, using different formulas to find the area of different shapes. As I said, all we need to realise is that all shapes are different, so to find the area of each one, we must use a different formula. You can see an image on this page of all the different formulas for the different shapes and their area. A rectangle is length times breadth or width. A circle is area equals pi r squared. A triangle is a equals half times base times height. A trapezium is half outside of a plus b times h. A parallelogram is area equals base times height. There's a couple more on there that you can have a look while you're watching this video as well. So the difficult part, because each shape is different, the values are all different. For example, a rectangle and the area of a rectangle requires 2 different values: the length, or L, and the breadth, B. But a circle has a different formula. Area equals pi r squared. And the value is different. This time we are looking, or need to find, r, which in case of a circle is the radius. So, you just need to know 2 things. 1, what the values in each shape are. What do those letters stand for? And 2, you're pros at this already, simply how to use a formula successfully. So, we're going to do a couple of examples on the board now. Let's just minimize this. As I said, each shape and the area for each shape has a different formula. So let's look at the square. I'm going to write the actual formula underneath the square. Area equals x squared. A is the subject, x is a value. So if this lesson is showing you, what does the value stand for? In the case of a square, x stands for the sides. That is the information you need. It is the information you are looking for. So, if we were to actually put values in for x, let's say each side was equal to 2. We can now solve the formula pretty easily, given the values we need, the sides, or x. So, if x equals 2, we write on our side our values. Step 1, write the formula. Step 2, write your values. Step 3, which we mastered at this already, we need to substitute. So, align your equal sign, substitute the 2 in for the x. And the area becomes 2 squared. Very lastly, we need to calculate. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which would become 4. Let's look at a different shape, because this is what today's lesson is about. Let's draw up a rectangle. As I said, if it's a different problem or a different shape, you need a different formula. Not only will you have a different formula, let's write it up here on the board nice and clear. Area equals length times breadth. You also have different values. This time we're not using x. We don't need sides. That was a square. For the area of a rectangle, we need 2 things, 2 values, L and B. So, if I look at a rectangle, L stands for the length of the rectangle. B stands for the breadth. So they are the 2 pieces of information we need to find the area of a rectangle. Let's look at a different shape. The triangle. I'm going to write the formula underneath, which is area equals half base times height. Half BH. This is a good way to see. The volume formulas are different because we're dealing with different shapes. But also, the values are different. Here we have L and B, length and breadth. In the triangle we have B and H. So, in a triangle, what do B and H stand for? B is the base. The base of the triangle. H is the height of the triangle. So once again, we see different formulas and different values. The difficult part is for you to know in a rectangle what is L and B. In a triangle, what is B and H. Let's look at another example. The circle. The area formula for a circle is A equals pi r squared. Again, it's a different shape. The area will be different. So therefore the formula will be different. But not only that, the values that you see on the right hand side will be different from other shapes. So, in a rectangle, L and B. In a triangle, B and H. In a circle, R. So what does R stand for in a circle? What are you looking for? R stands for the radius of any circle. So you can see that this is the tricky part. You not only need to find or understand that there are different formulas for different shapes, But there are different values for each shape. And the values are what you need to find when you have a question. If I'm finding the area of a rectangle, I have to know what L is. I have to know what B is. When I'm finding the area of a triangle, I have to know what base is. I have to know what the height is. And when I'm trying to find the area of a circle, the only one I need to know is R. What is the radius? So that covers this lesson. We're going to do a whole heap in class tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson so far. I'm glad you got to meet Howard. I'll bring him along each time. So what are we doing next lesson? Let's have a quick look. Next lesson, we're going to look at finding the area of composite shapes. So, Year 10, congratulations on watching your second lesson online. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you tomorrow.